Hey everybody, thanks for checking out my video. I'm here today to show you what I've done to my Tippmann Project Salvo as far as modifications, not only to the gun, but to the accessories that you can get for it. Everything I've got on this thing you can buy and modify yourself with a little bit of ingenuity. If you're not into Milsim guns, you're strictly tournament player, speedball, you might as well just shut the video off now because you probably won't like what I've done, and I don't want you to waste your time watching the video just to make lame comments at the end of how stupid it is, what a waste of money it is, and how I wouldn't last 5 seconds in the field. But if you are, then stick around and you'll probably like what you see and hopefully learn something that you can do for your gun. Okay, so anyway, get started. My Tippmann Project Salvo, obviously with modifications. I know you're thinking, why did you use an X7 or an A5? It's my first gun, and as I started tinkering with it, it just grew and grew, and I didn't want to start over really to get into with another gun. So anyway, this gun's been great for me, and why mess with what works? Anyway, okay, I'm gonna go ahead and get started, let you know what's going on with this thing. First things first, we'll go ahead and start with the feeder here. If you don't recognize it, it's a Q loader, obviously made by Q loader, just slightly modified. Obviously there's a shroud on the end here, which I've made. Basically that does two things. Looks like a kind of a grenade launcher style, and then also it's there for stability and making sure that the pod stays protected. I mean, I can hit that thing all day long, and unless I'm dropping off a 3-story building, but it doesn't go anywhere. Without it, it's just the thing just kind of sticks out there, and you could snag it on something and possibly break it. What's cool about it is you look, when you unload it and load it, it just pops right out. It's a little bit more work, I know, but when you think of the protection, it's way worth it. I don't know if you saw it, but I painted them black just so that they look more realistic. I didn't really like the clear tan, but I taped a window on it so that way I could see how much paint I had left in the tube before I ran out. Next, something I don't really use as much is the bipod. It makes it nice when I want to set the gun down and do work to it. The problem with that was the bipods normally for these kinds of guns, as you know, they mount underneath here in the Picatinny rail, but with the Q loader on it, they didn't fit. So I had to basically chop it up and figure out, and then I mounted it inside the barrel shroud between the barrel and the shroud itself, and then made it so it folds forward. It's come in handy a couple times, but I don't really use it that much. Another thing that I don't really use that much, but it has come in handy a couple times, is I like to call it the oh shit handle. Basically it's just a folding grip, as you can see. It's not really for this kind of action, but it's for in case you're behind a bunker, you can easily get this thing up and stay down low under cover and pop shots off. And what's nice about it is the Q loader, you can fire it in any position and not worry about balls not getting fed in. It doesn't have to be vertical. For the barrel, I'm running the Apex 2. It's an awesome barrel. What's really great about it is I'm getting a lot of guys at long distances with it. I had the 1, but the 2 looks a lot cooler, a lot sleeker, looks more like a silencer. But what I did for modification on this, I put a set screw on the bottom of it, and so if I don't want it to move, I can tighten it up and this piece won't move. What's nice about that is if you go to places where they say, hey, you can't run that because they don't like you using the curves or the drop shots, you just tell them it's set in one position. You can show them and just say it's basically the same thing as a flatline barrel. There's really no argument after that. Along with the Apex barrel, I have an iFit kit. Obviously you can go to check out their video on YouTube. iFit makes a great product for sizing your paint. You get good FPS out of it. You know, you're not wasting any air. I am also running 2 optics. As you might be able to see, I've got one on the top and one on the side. I use them both. This one's sighted in for about 80 to 90 feet. This one here sighted in for my long shots. Try to get to 175, even 200 feet when I'm using the apex barrier fully ramped. So if I've got somebody closer, obviously I'm looking through that guy right there. I got long distance shots, ramp up the apex barrel, looking through this second sight here. Makes it nice having two of them. Obviously, because you can get two different distances, and it's cool. You come up on somebody, your first shot isn't just a tracer fire. It's actually somewhat on target. Along with both of these optics, I rigged a toggle switch right here that turns both optics on and off. As you know, if you have experience with optics, they have little rotary dials that turn them on with batteries in them. When I first got them, I found I was leaving them, I was forgetting to turn them off, and I'd run through batteries every day. But with this is nice, it's just a toggle switch, boom, on, boom, off. The rail here on top, obviously I think it's for like a G36 style gun, M85 or something like that. I just really like the way it made the gun look, so I just left it there. I mean, it does have, it's got a handle on it so you can carry it, but with a gun this heavy, I use a 3-point sling anyway. The gun weighs 10 pounds, and when you're running all day with it, it definitely does get heavy. That's about it for the exterior components. Next I'll give you a description of some of the things I did inside the gun. Obviously I went ahead and bought the E-trigger from Tippmann. It really makes a big difference when you're squeezing the trigger, because it's got the, obviously E-trigger, it's easier to pull the trigger. You can pull it faster just on semi-automatic. But what I was finding was there's no double trigger for these guns. And what I ended up doing was I pulled it apart, I took the trigger out, and I mounted a set screw in it, and then installed a second micro switch in the front of the trigger. And what happens is, there's a little push button switch here, and when I hold my thumb on it, it activates the second switch. So when I pull it forward, when I pull it back, it fires once. When I let go, it fires. See if I can give you a little demonstration here. Don't know. It's kind of a touchy thing, just like anything else, like a double trigger on a Spider or tournament gun. There's a feel to it. So without the button pressed, it's just a single shot thing. But with the thumb button pressed in, it's got more of a double tap. I'm not really that good at it yet. Like I said, it takes a little practice getting used to. But what's cool about it is you're not just sitting there you're just not limited to single shot. You've got a double trigger on your own. Probably the coolest thing about this gun that I put on it was this next feature, which I'm actually pretty proud of. I ended up installing right here I don't know if you can see it, it's a digital shot counter. Every time I pull the trigger, it counts off. Basically, these Q loaders hold 100 rounds, and that way, when I'm in the field, I just look down, I see how many balls I got left, and it tells me, without having to look down at my gun, I can easily tell. And what's great about it is I'm a lefty, so if I'm looking through the shot counters right here, I'm just glancing down, I can say, hey, I pulled off 80 shots, I got 20 left. Getting ready, time to reload. It's got a micro switch I installed on the side, which turns it on, resets it after I reload. I also, for those of you that are familiar with the Tippmann triggers, E-triggers, they usually have a micro switch inside that you have to use a small pin or a stick or something to turn it on. I ended up mounting a micro switch on the side here that makes it easier to access to turn it on and off. I think that about covers it. I hope you liked the video. Maybe gives you some ideas on what you might want to do to your gun. It's really cool. I really like it. Whenever I go to the field, everyone always is like, "Whoa, what is that?" Blah 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 blah. It's just cool. Meet other people, see what they do to their guns, gives them ideas on what they can do to theirs, and other stuff I can do to mine. Guys are always making suggestions. Well, you should do this, and it's like, yeah, maybe I will. So hope that gives you. Oh, one more thing, small. Tippmann comes with a steel braided line. I didn't like the steel braid, so I just took some shrink wrap, heat shrink, you could buy it anywhere, and just took the line off, put it on it, heat it up, and it, you know, it blends in a little bit better. So anyway, afterthought. So, all right, I hope you enjoyed the video, and maybe this will give you some insight on stuff that you can do for your gun. So, thanks a lot.